All right, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Welcome to another episode of All In with Nate. We are back. Me and Devon is back. Bringing my boy Armand to the stream for the first time. Armand, welcome to the podcast.
Appreciate it, Nate, man. Thanks for having me. Nice to meet you, Devon. I'm glad to be on.
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you, Armand. It's gonna be a good show today. See, I'm
Yes,
still,
sir.
still staying politically correct. You feel me? Football team. No.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Before we even get into what we're going to talk about, you guys, we had a big trade before last week. The 49ers traded up to three. They traded up to with the Dolphins, and then the Dolphins also did a trade with the Eagles. How do y'all feel about the whole trade altogether? What are y'all thoughts on that?
I feel like the Eagles need to stay there at number 3, seeing that their team is decimated kind of right now. They don't have really they don't even have a true number 1 wide receiver unless they're gonna put Rager there or Fulgham. But I feel like they need to stay at number 3. I don't really see why they traded down, but hey, look, it ain't my team. I'm gonna trust their process. Hey, you know what I mean?
So with the 49ers trading up from 12 to 3, I think they started to realize that the top 5 quarterbacks, that there may not be nobody that will make it to 12. So I think they've had some interviews with a couple of players, and I think they've locked in on potentially 1 or 2 targets that they feel comfortable taking that high. So I think, Miami just trading back, to get some extra draft capital to build out the roster for the future with Tua is a move that was a no-brainer. Like Devon was saying, the Eagles didn't really understand what was going on there. I think there's a lot of uncertainty there. I know there's been a lot of fans who have been pretty agitated with Howie Roseman. They kind of feel like he's very power hungry. But like, They need a number 1 receiver. They've made a lot of mistakes, especially last year, taking Rager over Jefferson. They really don't have a identity that it looks like for their team, and I'm really nervous for their new head coach, that he may be in a position of being a yes man to the GM.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll see how it happens, but I think definitely San Francisco is definitely going to make some surprising picks at number 3.
Yeah, I know they're trading up to get a quarterback, seeing how I don't know what they're going to do with Jimmy G. They don't want to trade him, but they may have to if they do get this quarterback at number 3. If he ends up beating Jimmy Garoppolo, they may trade him. Because he hasn't been healthy that long since he's been there. How long? He's only been there, 3-4 seasons now, and he hasn't really played a full season yet. So I see him going somewhere else. Probably most likely after this season, Jimmy Garoppolo will be somewhere else.
Okay, let's see the comments. Shat Washington, what's going on, bro? He just won my Madden tournament. Also, side note, congratulations to him. He's an Eagles fan. He said, "Well, dang." I know he was talking.
Look, my brother, he an Eagles fan. I'm not even gonna hold y'all, but it's like y'all gave away Carson Wentz pretty much for chump change, and then
for $5.
Yeah, $5, chump change, and y'all don't even have solid receivers right now. Everybody else in the NFC East, they making moves. I haven't even seen really any moves that the Eagles have made. They're like, unless they're under the radar, but I don't know what y'all gonna do right now. Y'all might have a down season this year, another down season, I should say.
Yeah, which is really scary for Hurts, being a quarterback there who's given the keys now, because now you go into potentially the 22 offseason. Now you possibly considering, are we going to draft another quarterback after drafting him as a top 50 pick, 2 years ago, and you don't even still have the skill players to really be able to not only support him, but if somebody else coming in.
Yeah, I've also saw that reports that they're not ruling out drafting a quarterback, so they might draft one in the later rounds to back him up. Because right now it's It's just Hurts and Nate Sudfeld and Sudfeld. We saw what he did the last game of the season. Nate Sudfeld.
Never heard of him. Anyways, Goodwin, Rieger, Water. We gonna be all right. So you coming on air to say that y'all taking Jalen Waddle out of Alabama? Is that what you're saying?
If the football team don't get him first, if we decide to get because there's been reports that football team trying to get Waddle. Flacco. Yeah, Flacco. I'm not gonna throw any bad rep on his name because he did do good for the Ravens. But I think his dudes are kind of behind him as a starter.
The Eagles got a type, man. They got a type at wide receiver. They like them 5'10" guys who weigh like 170, 180 pounds. I mean, I don't know. That guy from Stanford? That was a weird pick. They don't really draft tall wide receivers, but they draft all the guys. They exactly the same. Waddle a dog, though. If y'all get Waddle, I just pray y'all make sure he healthy because he gonna play good if he go wherever he go. But if he go to Philly,
who better not get him. Jeremy, I know who better not get him.
Who?
These guys back here. If we take a receiver at 4, you won't see me come on this thing.
But y'all need another speed receiver though. Y'all need a
that's nice.
Not at number 4.
Oh yeah, not at number 4. But I'm saying y'all gonna need a speed receiver, and there's enough speed in the draft to find some hidden gem in there. I mean, look, Terry McLaurin was found in the 3rd round. You know what I'm saying? Look what he's doing. All by state. Yeah. So
yes, sir. So we're gonna dive into the teams that we're talking about. The first team we're talking about is for the second time on the board is gonna be the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're gonna be picking number 1, but everyone's probably wondering why the Jaguars are here again. It's the Jalen Ramsey trade. That's how they got their first round pick. So I'm gonna go last. I'm gonna let you guys talk about what you think. Or after what they did in free agency, what do you think their top needs are at this point?
If you want to go first, you can.
Okay.
Sure. So Jacksonville, just kind of like Nate said, they're in a culture shift. They got rid of President of Operations Tom Coughlin after some run-ins with some players, not really happy there. So they've kind of torn down the decks again. So Urban Meyer's now in first-time head coach at the NFL level. So right now, I think the obvious need is quarterback. Gardner Minshew was there for the past 2 years, I believe. And he's played okay, but I think when you have the potential opportunity to draft a franchise quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, I don't think that you can pass that up. So in addition to quarterback, they actually could use some interior D-line help. I know that historically Jacksonville has had a great tandem in the past with guys such as Marcus Stroud, John Henderson. I know that they also tried to re-sign a former top 10 pick, Tyson Alualu, but he actually went back to the Steelers on a 2-year deal. So I know they got Taven Bryan right now. But I think they need a little more juice up front. And I know they're picking at 23. So a guy like Christian Barmore from Alabama could be an instant impact player there. He's still raw, but he has the tools to be a 3-down player. What are y'all thoughts?
I like Christian Barmore going there, and not to keep talking about my team like that, but you see what Alabama's D tackles, their D line, what their success they've done over the years with Washington. So I feel like Christian Barmore can come right in and make an instant impact. You know what I'm saying? We got Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen from Alabama. They will come in and make an instant impact. So other than that, they made a lot of moves, a lot of under the radar moves. The biggest moves that they made, in my opinion, would be Shaquille Griffin, adding them to the corner depth. Him along with C.J. Henderson going into his second year. That's going to be a good defensive duo. The thing that bothers me about Jacksonville is that they went 10-6 with Blake Bortles at quarterback. 10-6 with Blake Bortles. You know what I'm saying? Blake Bortles, he's a backup on the if he's still in the Rams, he's a backup on the Rams. So it's like all they need is that one piece. You know, they got DJ Chark, D.D. Westbrook. They had all they really need is a quarterback, and I feel like Minshew is not consistent enough for me for him to say that he's going to be their starting quarterback going into next season. When you do have the number one pick and you do have a quarterback like Trevor Lawrence, who is a once in a while, quarterback that comes along. I feel like Lawrence is going to come in. He's going to be an instant starter. I don't think they're really going to give it any thought on the QB competition. Like, they may entertain it just because they got it. They're going to give him a chance, seniority. But I think Lawrence is going to come in. He's going to be their starter if he does get drafted.
Yes, sir. So, I definitely agree with y'all saying. Assuming that they take Trevor Lawrence number one, the next thing that they should be my these I had written down were adding another corner defensive back. Even though they got Shaq Griffin, like you mentioned, I also mentioned as far as what Armand said is offensive tackle and also a safety, because I feel like even though they made a couple of moves, they really missed on this free agency. They had the most money, if I'm not mistaken, and they really missed bad on free agency. So the good thing is, with having 2 picks in this draft in the first round, you can address those needs. Some of the other things I was saying that they needed was, I feel like they're in a good spot to take a defensive lineman in general, because really a lot of with this being such a stacked receiver class, there's top 5 quarterbacks going to be heavy off the board probably in the first round. So a lot of guys that might have went early might slip at a certain point in the draft to them. I went and looked up their mock draft reports. Walter Football agreed with Armand, had him taking Christian Barmore. CBS Sports, Ryan Wilson had him taking Trevon Morgan, correct me if I'm saying his name wrong. Christian Prosso had them taking Pat Surtain. Josh Edwards also had them taking the TCU safety. Okay, Pete Prisco had them taking Travis Etienne, and the NFL Network mock draft had them trading back with the Chiefs to take Travis Etienne out of Clemson. So it's like they're kind of in one of those spots where they can go a couple of different directions. But no, I do definitely agree with y'all on that in regards to the Jaguars. See, Shaq Washington said, who would y'all say are some of the biggest sleepers in this draft? You got the perfect guys on here, especially my boy Armand, to ask this sleeper, because he loves sleepers.
Okay. So I'll talk from a positional standpoint here. I think a sleeper position is defensive end, and I would say cornerback. Defensive end, you got a lot of different flavors of guys that are in this draft. So beyond the first round, you may want to look at guys like Ronnie Perkins from Oklahoma. You got Patrick Jones from Pittsburgh, Curtis Weaver from Pittsburgh. You got some mid-major guys like Ellerson Smith from Northern Iowa, Peyton Turner from Houston, Joe Tryon from Washington. So there's a lot of Florida State DNs who kind of underachieve. I can't remember their names. I think one of them is Janarius Robinson. Is somebody who I was looking at. But there's a lot of different types of defensive ends, I think, in this draft, that if you really need an end who's either maybe a bull rusher, because that's really one of the areas that has been concerning for offensive coordinators, that's more of the primary move, that is getting to the quarterback quickly instead of just the bending off the edge. Obviously, that's a big thing. So that's one area I would definitely keep in mind. Cornerbacks, there's a lot of value that's going to be on day 2. Asante Samuel, he might go first round, but obviously he's the son of Asante Samuel, who played for the Patriots. You got also Kelvin Joseph from Kentucky, a former player at LSU, long, athletic, probably the most swaggiest cornerback in the draft, who gonna be in your face. Thomas Graham for Oregon is another guy who's a feisty corner. Trill Williams. We also have Melifonwu from Syracuse, who's the brother of Obi Melifonwu, who got drafted by the Raiders a couple years back. So There's a lot of flavors in those two areas that I think if you may just need some extra depth pieces or you just want to just build that and strengthen your team, those are two areas that I would go in right now.
I'm looking at a report from Pro Football Focus, more going for like the smaller schools, not going big schools, but there's 10 of them that Pro Football Focus is labeled as sleepers for the draft. You got defensive lineman Milton Williams from Louisiana Tech. He notched up an 88 grade as a run defender and a pass rusher, and he's the only player at that position to do so. He ran a 4.6. 6'3", 284 pounds. There's good speed for a lineman coming in. On the edge, you got Jordan Smith from UAB. He got a 90 for the grade, 91 in pass rush. Both 2019 and 2020, he could be an instant impact wherever he goes. Another interior O lineman, you got Quinn Meinerz.
I know. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
about.
Wisconsin Whitewater. I hadn't even heard of that school, but it is a Division III school. But he got an invite to the Senior Bowl. So if you get an invite from the Senior Bowl from a D3 school, you're obviously doing something right. So he's gonna he'll be a steal wherever he goes if he comes out and be an instant impact. You got tackle Spencer Brown from Northern Iowa. He's 6'8", 35-inch arms. 29 reps on the bench. That's it's a big body tackle. He'll be a force to reckon with on that line. You got edge Cameron Sample from Tulane. I like Tulane a lot as far as Cameron Sample and I can't think of his name right now. Chassarat, if I said the right person. The edge rusher from Tulane. I'm trying to think of his name. It's not Chassarat.
Johnson, Patrick Johnson.
No,
something Johnson.
Pat Johnson?
No. Y'all right. I'm thinking of Tulsa. It's a whole wrong school.
You good?
I'm thinking of Tulsa, Tulane, yeah. But he's going to be a steal. You got another edge in Peyton Turner from Houston, like you said. Christian Uphoff from Illinois State, and this is one I really like a lot. I've been seeing a lot of noise about is Kate Johnson out of South Dakota State. He didn't play in 2019 due to coronavirus, but in 2020 he received a 90.9 receiving grade, and he was basically picking up 4 yards a route, and I feel like wherever he goes, he'll be that sleeper that's going to blow up. But I don't see him going in this first 2 rounds. He'll probably be like a third-day receiver. And last but not least, Robert Rochelle out of Central Arkansas. He's 5'11", 193 pounds, and ran a 4.39. Very fast cornerback. And we was talking about it earlier. I was personally, in my opinion, I said running a 4.5 in the draft. Apparently now is slow because all these players, you got all these players out here running 4.39s, 4.4s, 4.3s. You got 250-pound linebackers running 4.3s. What's going on? What they put in these people's food, man? Like how like in the last 10 years, I just seen every single year that people's linemen, linebackers, their 40 times are getting faster and faster, and it's creating a lot of more. They're being more versatile across the field. Like you got linebackers that can play safeties. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at Isaiah Simmons; he's a perfect example of that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Couple guys I could name off. I'm probably gonna go a couple big guys. I think Wyatt Davis is gonna be a sleeper offensive guard. Is correct if I'm wrong. Is that his position, Armand? Out of Ohio State. Darius Stills out of West Virginia. He's gonna be a sleeper defensive tackle. Shaka Tony had a good Senior Bowl out of Penn State. He's gonna be a guy to watch out for. Side note for me, I'm not sure how Armand feel about these guys. Both of the running backs from North Carolina are going to be sleepers in this draft. I hope the Falcons kind of find a way to get one of them because they both had a pretty good year at the end of last year. I would say also gonna go into the Georgia bag a little bit. I want to see how Ojulari is going to play in the NFL. See what position they ended up throwing him into. if we were to did this a couple weeks prior to Eric Stokes running that crazy 40, he would have been my sleeper, but he's probably not sleeping now. He might sneak into the first round at this point. But I think personally, I don't know how Armand feel about him. Desmond right out of Cincinnati could be a sleeper quarterback in the mid round of the draft. I'm trying to think who else. Just a couple guys. They named off a lot of the guys who I probably would have said as well. Let me see. The other question was, hold on, who has the edge more and why, Trevor or Justin?
Ooh. I mean, Justin, I don't know. We don't really know where he's going to land. So as for right now, I would most likely say Trevor, just because he's going. If he does go to the Jags, which 99% is looking like he's going to the Jags at that first round pick. He already has the pieces in place with the additions that the Jags have made on defense. He'll have a not a above average, like not like an elite defense, but they'll definitely be a force to reckon with coming up in this next season. So I feel like right now Trevor has the edge as far as a good placement. So I can't really say Justin Fields is going to have the edge. It all depends on where he goes.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just think Trevor is more certainty right now of where he's going to go. I think his pro day went exceptionally well. I mean, he displayed the arm strength. He was poised. Accuracy was on point. He ran well for someone who's 5'6". The only concern that I have with Trevor Lawrence is he's going to have to put on some weight once he gets to the next level. He's a little slender. So that's going to be maybe the main concern that I have with there, because the Jaguars don't have the best offensive line, and they're in the division that has the Colts with the top 5 defense, but the other two teams, the Titans and the Texans, their defenses aren't that good. So he'll be okay for the right now.
I agree with that with Trevor because Trevor kind of got a little more of a situation that he is walking into. They kind of have a couple things in place. They're not bad off as they could be considered. And for most things with Justin, the hard part is where does he fall? It could be a different situation. He could end up in San Francisco or even in Atlanta, and he could go into a decent situation with those guys. But overall, hey, I want him in Atlanta, but I'm gonna put that on record.
I'm here for it.
But it really depends on where he goes as they stand. Because with Justin, you've seen him he could be considered as high as 3. You've seen him fall potentially to 8 to Carolina. So really, it's hard to go against Trevor at the particular moment. Let's see. The next question is:
I will say for Shaq, a team to watch if Justin Fields does fall past Atlanta is going to be New England. New England is a team that is brought back Cam, but they don't have really that future quarterback on their team. And I think that this will probably be the year to probably go for it with draft capital to get your guy. They're getting a lot of their defense back with opt-outs. They made a lot of moves in free agency. So I'm for New England probably trading up for Justin Fields if he does fall past the Falcons at 4.
Okay.
I agree with that.
So the next question is: who are some players y'all don't think will be as good as people think? Mac Jones.
Man, yeah, like that man, Mac Jones. I mean, look, because the thing is with Mac Jones, he had an elite core of wide receivers around him at Alabama. So, I mean, to a certain extent, I can see what you're saying, but I feel like with the right toolage, he could probably make some noise if he got put in the right position. But some players I don't think is going to be as good as people think. It's going to be a lot of the quarterbacks, in my opinion. I don't really have specific ones in my head right now, but I do know that quarterbacks are a position where it's like a hit or a miss. Like, for instance,
Mac Jones.
Dwayne Haskins last year, you know what I'm saying? He had 50 touchdowns in college in his first year. Then the next 2 seasons in the NFL, he was garbage. So it's like, you know, it's like you can't really do much with a quarterback. It's all about placement and the coaching that you give him.
Okay.
Who would you say, Armand?
So good. Yeah, if we're sticking to quarterback specifically, I think Zach Wilson. I'm really not a fan of small school quarterbacks, and I know that's not fair to them based on their late development in the process. But I do think I'm very, very wary of 1 year like wonder/1 year starters. As you can see, he did have some games where he played against bigger teams and he did struggle. And that could be a tribute to, the lack of talent that BYU had surrounding him. He also is his frame is a little weird. So he's gonna definitely need to be with a team that has a good offensive line to start, because if he doesn't, I think he's going to endure a lot of trouble real fast. I'm gonna go with a non quarterback. Let's make this interesting. This is tough.
I'm gonna say
I want to say Devontae Smith, and
Ooh.
I really like Devontae Smith as a wide receiver because I do like the savviness, but I think Brandon Marshall made a great point as a wide receiver. There are a lot of factors that are out of your control about having a great career as a wide receiver, and I just don't know what team he's going to go to, because if, let's say, Devontae Smith goes to the Lions at 7, yeah, you got Jared Goff there, but Jared Goff isn't in the future plans of that franchise after next year. So who's going to be the quarterback of Detroit?
Jesus.
And you don't, and then in the NFC North, you got corners like Jair Alexander, Cameron Dantzler, Jalen Johnson, young guys who, they're gonna lock them up. Like, you're the only offensive threat that could be on some of these teams that taking wide receivers. His frame is obviously the big thing. That's a concern. I like him as a player. I just think I'm concerned of where he's going to end up is going to be maybe the big reason why he may fail.
I'm gonna throw a random guy here to you guys who I'm skeptical on, who at first I was kind of high on, and that's Travis Etienne out of Clemson. I don't know what I think it's gonna depend on his situation. I think he's good, but I also think he was a part of a really good Clemson team. Sometimes those Clemson backs do not translate to the NFL. That's another tricky thing. Like, when you go to a big school, certain guys don't translate to the NFL. Like, and I'm sure you guys can agree with this. Like, even for me, I'm a Bulldogs fan, but every Bulldog running back does not come to the NFL to succeed. Swift was okay, but Swift didn't have the impact that Chubb and Sony Michel's was even as we remember me when I had this conversation 3 years ago. We thought that Sony would be the better running back league-wise, and Nick Chubb balling out of Cleveland. So you just never know. It really depends on their situation. So that's a guy who I don't really know. I don't know what to really expect out of him. I'm gonna go to the comments real quick. Know the Game 88 from Twitch said, is Kyle Pitts the best player in the draft? One of them, but not the best player in the draft.
He's not the best player. I would say he's probably the best tight end as far as like being able to get open in space. But in my opinion, he's built like a receiver. So if he's gonna be down there in the trenches having to block and stuff, he's gonna have to put some more size up, because he's not gonna be able to do it at the size he's at right now. That's just my opinion.
All right. So I'm gonna be honest. I was a Kyle Pitts hater for a long time. But I think I saw the light. I think that Kyle Pitts is the best non-quarterback in this draft, player in this draft. I think over Jamar Chase, because of the fact of, you see how the NFL is kind of going with the hybrid tight end look. with guys like Kittle, Kelsey, Darren Waller, who is kind of the bigger, comparison to a Pitts. I mean, you can line this guy up anywhere. And I know me and Nate were talking about, him potentially being an option at 4. They struggled in the 20-yard when the red zone last year. You got a guy who's 6'6". You just can throw a lob. You got Julio on one side, and you got Pitts on another side. Guys who got size who can just throw it up. They can go get it. He ran a 4.4 today. That surprised me. I didn't think.
Yeah, I was surprised actually.
And he burned some players on tape this year. So I came around on Kyle Pitts a lot, man. I'm a fan.
Yes, sir. I like Kyle Pitts, and I think Kyle Pitts is gonna actually be one of those players that's gonna really translate to the NFL, especially what team he falls, whoever pocket he falls into the NFL. That's gonna also be a great thing for him. But before I go back to some more comments, we're gonna try to get to the next team. We appreciate y'all comments. Let's try to get to these teams so we can be able to answer more of y'all questions. The next team is the New York Jets, who actually had a pretty good free agency. They acquired, and I didn't even know a couple of guys they acquired. They acquired Corey Davis, Carl Lawson, Tevin Coleman, just throwing out a couple names. But the Jets still got a few needs they got to address. They got 2 first-round picks. If you are wondering how they got 2 first-round picks, Jamal Adams to Seattle trade. They have picks from Seattle this and next year. So my needs for them were quarterback, guard, corner, offensive line, defensive line. So those guys. So for me, of course, need a quarter. I'm not a big fan of Sam Darnold. It's not so much that he's a bad player. I think it's a bad situation for him, and I'd rather him get a chance somewhere else. In regards to their offensive line was awful. So this is the draft. You can get anything that you need on that offensive line. And also at defensive line, they need help there too. I think this team they need everything. The Jets deserve to really be the number 1 pick over Jacksonville. That's the God honest truth. But they decided they want to win some games at the end of the season. But I'll leave them alone on that. But the mock drafts that I've seen so far that has them taking with their second pick, they got Creed Humphrey coming out of Oklahoma to them. Walter Football has Najee Harris coming out of Alabama to the Jets. That would be a great fit for them. They need a running back. CBS Sports have them taking Asante Samuel Jr., who you mentioned just a few minutes ago, Armand. Christian Paso has them taking Alex Leatherwood out of Alabama. Josh Edwards has them taking Jeremiah Owusu. How's his last name? Being Devon Best's last name.
Moa or Owusu Carmoa.
Yeah, one of them. And Pete Prisco has Ronnie Perkins going to the Jets here. But I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and talk about what do you think the Jets are gonna do with that second first-round pick.
I got Cynthia Frulin from NFL Network. She has them taking Rashawn Slater out of Northwestern, the tackle.
At number 2?
Yeah, number 2.
Ooh, baby.
Only because he has his versatility with being able to play guard or tackle, whereas where Penny Sewell really only plays tackle. So I mean, they really need offensive line, which I feel like if they do bolster their line, Sam Darnold could possibly have a better season. I don't know. Only time can tell, but Rashawn Slater going at number 2, I don't really see anything wrong with that, but I would say that they do need a running back. They do need, if they decide to trade Darnold or do anything moving Darnold, period, they're going to need a quarterback. So I see them taking one of them top quarterbacks in the draft, in my personal opinion, or they go and take a receiver because they got Corey Davis on one side. They still have Jamison Crowder there at the slot. I don't know if they're going to still rock with Brashad Perryman at that number 2, but they're going to need to do something. So I see them either going quarterback, wide receiver, or taking a line. I don't really see them going defensive in this draft at number 2. I see it because the defense is so deep in this draft. Rob Baker said Jets to trade back also. I mean, they didn't do good at all last year.
They did everything.
I don't think they necessarily did trade back, but if they do trade back, there's going to be tackles in the draft that they can trade back for. It's enough tackle depth, or it's enough depth all around. Period. If they do decide to trade back.
Okay, so the Jets are in a tough situation. Obviously, we know Sam Darnold has not had talent around him to succeed. He's going to be eligible for a fifth-year option, I think, if in May, picking up his contract. So I feel like the first question for the Jets is he going to be your quarterback moving forward? I think with having although a defensive head coach, you're going to definitely want to change the culture within that organization. So I would look to start over if I were in their shoes. Obviously, we talked about quarterbacks such as Justin Fields, Zach Wilson have been names that have been mentioned there. Additional needs that I see, when you have a defensive coach that's at the head coach position, I think they're going to need a defensive end. We know the type of defensive ends that are coveted in that type of scheme, Seattle-ish type scheme. You need long, athletic Leo type pass rushers, and a guy who had a memorable pro day from Penn State, Jason Owe, could be an option at 23 for the Jets. If they do elect to keep Darnold, I would trade down and try to get as many picks and build a team. But I just don't think currently where the Jets are trying to go with Joe Douglas as GM, they really just got to start this thing over. But those would be the areas. They also have Denzel Mims at wide receiver, who is a nice prospect there. Chris Herndon is another guy, tight end. He's been a little banged up. He showed a little flashes, but they could use an upgrade at tight end as well. But when you got a defensive coach, he's definitely going to want to get some defensive guys in there, especially building that D line. Quentin Williams had a very good sophomore year after a rough first year. He did end the year on IR. So they have CJ Mosley still there as well. I don't know how that's going to work out. I think they bought back Marcus May on a franchise tag as well. So they do have a lot of needs. Don't get me wrong, but the cupboard is not fully bare. So you got some things that you can build off of in New York right now.
That is true. I agree with you guys. I definitely would like to see what they're going to do further with this team. But before we even go into I'm going to make the Steelers the fourth team we cover. I'm going to get the Florida Armand so he can talk about his Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
Let's go, sir.
All right. So obviously after making the playoffs for the first time since 2002, the Browns were able to make the playoffs. They pulled off a shocking upset of the Steelers in the wild card round and almost were able to pull off another upset against the Chiefs in the divisional round. The team has made a lot of growth dating back to when Sashi Brown was in charge of the organization, acquiring draft picks, had a lot of really placed us in a position to be successful going forward. Now to Andrew Berry, who's came into the organization. Hiring Kevin Stefanski was a great move. I think the Browns are very lucky to get Kevin Stefanski again after hiring Freddie Kitchens. That was a debacle. I thought he was going to be a better coach, but just was not an ideal situation and just over his head. But just going into this offseason, the Browns have had probably a top three off season for any team in the NFL, in my opinion. And that's no bias, but just the additions. Our secondary was trash last year. It was awful. I could not stand the secondary last year. So we were able to get John Johnson from the Rams. He was a third-round pick from Boston College a couple years ago. He was the signal caller on that defense that was ranked number 1 last year for the Rams. He comes in. He's going to slide into that free safety role. Really going to be a nice mentor to Grant Delpit, who's coming off an injury, as well as Ronnie Harrison, who he picked up last offseason for a 5th-round pick from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Additionally, we signed Troy Hill, who also played for the Rams last year. He will be ideally our slot corner. It also depends on the status of Greedy Williams' nerve damaged shoulder, which is a concern at the moment. We also signed a former 1st-round pick from the Atlanta Falcons, Tack McKinley, who the Browns tried to claim 3 times during the regular season, but lost out on him. Your boy Tack McKinley. So he's going to be a rotational player, I think, to start. I don't think that he's going to be the ideal running mate next to Myles Garrett. Olivier Vernon got hurt in the last regular season game against the Steelers. So he'll be a nice depth piece. We were able to re-sign Rashard Higgins to a 1-year deal. We also brought back Malcolm Smith, a former Super Bowl MVP from the Seahawks. We re-signed our kicker, Cody Parkey, who actually played very well this year, which is good, but I'm a little scared because now I'm like, okay, this might be the one good year he might start clanking kicks again, like his past life. But I think some of the needs going into the draft, I would say, are cornerback. We don't know what that situation is going to look like with Greedy Williams at the moment, but I think we need some more speed at that position. I think we were really exposed last year against, the Steelers, who have multiple receivers. The Bengals have multiple receivers. The Ravens have a lot of fast guys. I don't think they're fully developed yet. So that's an area that we need to improve. We need a defensive end. We need a guy to run next to Myles, somebody who can, set the edge. He can be a guy that can bend. I like guys that can bend, but I need someone who can put pressure on the quarterback relatively quickly. And a defensive tackle would be nice, someone who can be kind of that pass rush. Sheldon Richardson has been okay. He's in the final year of his deal. We did bring in Malik Jackson, a veteran, for a 1-year deal as well. Another surprising need, I would say, would be wide receiver. I know a lot of people are like, you got Odell Beckham, you got Jarvis Landry, you got Rashard Higgins. Well, Odell Beckham was out last year, and he's not had the best chemistry with Baker Mayfield. I think given a chance, I hope that Odell can really, be an integral part of the offense, but we just don't know yet. And see him coming back off injury. But we also need a speed wide receiver. I think that the field has been really shriveled up, and so people knew how to defend us, stacking the box. Kind of how Nate said the Jets were starting to win. They really got lucky because we had 4 wide receivers out on COVID, but really we just need to get that game changer who can be on set the defense honest.
It's funny you say that because I agree. Have all those needs on my when I did my research that y'all needed a pass rusher, corner, and a receiver. I said that y'all needed a pass rusher because Myles Garrett is a monster, but he needs somebody alongside him to get after the quarterback. Corner, just for the same reasons that you said, Greedy Williams State is hurt at the moment, and receiver because I just don't see y'all keeping Odell and Landry together after 2021. So we had the same 3 needs, and to tell you what they had you guys taking on the mock draft, they had you guys taking Jeremiah Owusu, the K last name, CBS Sports.
We're gonna call him Joker. That's all.
We're gonna call him JK. We're just gonna call him that.
Joker.
But CBS Sports have Pete Prisco have y'all taking Jalen Fields out of Miami, Josh Edwards have y'all taking out of Alabama, Trapasso have you taking Carlo Basham Jr. out of Wake Forest. This is the first time they mentioned his name. Ryan Wilson have you taking Jalen Fields as well. And NFL Network is throwing the first sleeper in here, Jamin Davis. Out of I forgot what school he out of, but
Kentucky.
They got Kentucky. Yeah, they got y'all taking him. He responded coming real quick before Devon speaks. Let's see. Drop in and show some love. What's going on, AJ? AJ runs a Madden online gaming page. You need to follow this guy. He's a solid guy.
I watched
He
his
has
streams.
tournaments and all that stuff. Huh?
I watched his streams. I saw him last night playing the other dude. I watched Bacon Gaming. That was a good game to watch.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Check his stream out. But Javon, what do you think the Cleveland Browns need in this draft?
I agree with Armand. Need some more depth at wide receiver, being that Odell is an injury risk. On paper, he's y'all's best wide receiver, but yeah, he can't stay healthy. I was thinking y'all was going to trade him or do something with him this past season just because of the issues that he's had, but y'all kept him around. I feel like if all three of y'all receivers can have a healthy 1 to 17 now season, y'all definitely can get back to where y'all were from this past season and even further. Everybody meshes how they're supposed to mesh. I have a good draft and everything. Defensively, y'all did upgrade, especially the safety position. You'll have Grant Delpit most likely. If John Johnson stays at strong safety, y'all probably move Delpit to free safety. That way, he'll be able to get his playing time because he's a solid safety when healthy. So I feel like having them two pieces right there just bolsters your defense already. Linebackers, you have Mac Wilson, Olivier Vernon, those guys like that on defense and make some noise. Myles Garrett, y'all definitely can make some noise. Corner-wise, there is depth that needs to be there. Greedy Williams, Denzel Ward, both of them can't do it by themselves. Troy Hill is he's a decent cover, especially at the slot position. Other than that, I don't really think that y'all need a lot of elite players because y'all already have that established. But I do see y'all, if y'all do get a Wusu Carmoa Joker, that would be a good fit for y'all. That would be a good fit for y'all. And honestly, y'all's running game is pretty much y'all's whole defense already. Y'all got that two-factor combo with Chubb and Hunt. So it's like, other than that, y'all pretty much straight. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have pretty much complete offense, and y'all still have Austin Hooper still left on. I think he has 1 year left on his contract. So y'all are okay for right now. So I really think y'all really should just go defense this round or this first round.
You didn't see the tear I shed, man. They got my boy off.
Yeah, so I know I don't know if there's any Browns fans that's on here, but I know a lot of people have been, clamoring like, why don't we draft a linebacker? Our linebackers, we have the worst linebacking core probably in the NFL. But Joe Woods, he wants to run a nickel defense. So we're trying to eliminate as many linebackers off the field as possible because I know you mentioned Mac Wilson. Mac Williams is trash. I will be surprised if he's going to be on the team next year. To be honest, the dude is allergic to tackling. I could tackle probably better than Matt Wilson. It's that bad.
This sounds like Washington defense. They're allergic.
He's definitely allergic to tackling. He don't like to get dirty. He a hype man on social media, but on Sundays he not the hype man. So
oh Lord, you got another one on your team in Tat McKinley.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But I definitely think getting faster on defense is the main priority for us. I know that we may probably get into some players that may be potential targets for the Browns, probably at 26. So we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, I see it, but I see y'all starting off the first 2 days y'all going defense, and then later on y'all will add the depth to your offense.
Okay. Getting a chance to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, your division rival. Let me tell you, before I'm going to talk about these boys real quick. They was 11-0, and then that team called the no-name Washington football team came up in that bad boy and sent the TikTok crew down in shambles. They made the postseason and had an early wild card exit to the Cleveland Browns. And that's funny. I got one of y'all on the stream. But my needs for them is offensive line, pass rusher, corner, and linebacker. They need help on their offensive line because they lost Marquise Pouncey to retirement. Matt finally signed with the Chargers. I don't think the Castro is going to stay in Pittsburgh because they have a contract issue. I'm not sure if y'all heard about that. Pass rusher, they lost Bud Dupree in the offseason. They don't have no money. They got a little more money than the Falcons, but they didn't have no money. So they really need to address that pass rush. Their secondary is not that good. They got Minka Fitzpatrick, but their corners are not that good. So they lost Mike Hilton to Cincinnati. They really need help in the secondary. And again, like I said, they need to address their offensive line altogether and get a running back. I'm not a fan of James Conner. Benny Snell's okay, but I think Pittsburgh is at their best when they can run the ball effectively, and they are not able to run the ball effectively. And Big Ben is another topic for another day. He's back in Pittsburgh. I'm sure Armand loves that because he get to deal with his old, but one more year. He's gonna go out there and I don't know what he's gonna do. I just know that Pittsburgh is a mess. But their mock draft was Walter Football has them taking Aaron Robinson, the corner. CBS has them taking Caleb Farley. Ryan Wilson does. Christian Prosser has them taking Jalen Phillips. Josh Edwards has them taking Landon Dixon. Pete Prisco has them taking Liam Eichenberg out of Notre Dame. And NFL Network has taken Najee Harris. So, guys, how do y'all feel about the Pittsburgh Steelers?
All right, so I'll go first. So my needs are for the Steelers to get out of the way because my Browns are now taking your spot. But no, in all seriousness, the Steelers did have a rough offseason. Restructuring Ben Roethlisberger's contract really didn't benefit them too much. They lost a lot on defense. Bud Dupree. They got Lou back, which was good. They still have one of the top defensive lines in football. But now there's going to be a lot of gearing towards TJ Watt with slide protection. You did say they lost Mike Hilton. They just released a corner. I'm not sure if it was Cameron Sutton, who was kind of unhappy with his deal. But now they have a hole at corner right now.
Joe Hayden getting old too.
Yeah, Joe Hayden, former Brown, who's done really well in Pittsburgh. Offensively, they brought Juju Smith-Schuster back. So I think at wide receiver, I think they're pretty set at wide receiver. Just some needs that you alluded to. Offensive line is a major problem. Pittsburgh is a physical football team. I don't believe they brought Alejandro Villanueva back at left tackle. Marquise Pouncey retired. I wasn't aware of the DeCastro situation. I know they also could use a running back. I think I would address that later in the draft. I don't think that's a burning need for them right now. I think if I was Pittsburgh is picking 24, I believe. I think that the positions that they're going to look at are probably offensive tackle and cornerback. When you're in a division that has wide receivers like a T. Higgins, a Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Tyler Boyd, Marquise Brown, now Sammy Watkins plays for the Ravens. You're going to need to cover some guys, which is going to be a problem. But you also got to be able to protect Ben Roethlisberger. So I can kind of see them leaning towards offensive tackle since that's a deeper position. So like Liam Eichenberg, who was mentioned, Jalen Mayfield, possibly if Christian Darrisaw falls there to them. But I think Pittsburgh is in a period of transition, and they got some people that they're gonna have to pay really soon on that defense. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle themselves going forward.
Yeah, I agree. They looking at some mock drafts. They have Samuel Cosmi out of Texas going there at 24. I don't know if Cosmi is really going to be there at 24, but like I said, this tackle draft is very deep, so it's really up in the air. It's all about how their pro day is going to go leading up to the draft. They have Samuel Cosmi. If they do decide to go the running back route, they'll take Travis Etienne at 24. Add a speed factor to their backfield. They got Connor for the power, but Etienne, coming in that 1-2 punch. And then you got, like Armand was saying, that Liam Eichenberg, he's a good tackle for them if they do decide to go the tackle route. Honestly, I don't see them going for a corner or any skill player like that. I think they're going to address the need that's most important first, because like I'm gonna keep on saying, this draft is very deep, probably one of the deepest classes that I've seen personally since I've been really paying attention to football like that. It's a lot of good players all around. Anybody can make an impact the way that it's looking. But I see them really going for a tackle or a running back in this draft in first round.
All I'm going to say is this. If they don't draft no tackle, it's going to be a long year for Ben because Myles Garrett, he was tearing up Villanueva. You got a backup over there. It's going to be a long year for the Pittsburgh. But I did give my pick for 26 for Cleveland. So if Jalen Phillips is there, I know he has the concussion issues, but he's on talent alone. This may be crazy. I think he's a top 5 talent in the draft, just pure talent. But with those injuries and concussions, we'll see. But if you get a running mate next to Myles, it's gonna be on.
Okay, yeah. Cool. Me and Devon both agreed to say a little bit about our team because the last time we did it was, I think we only had signed Eric. I think we had only had signed Eric Harris at the time. I don't think the Curtis Samuel sign had happened for you guys yet. If I'm not mistaken.
We didn't sign him yet.
Oh yeah, it was. We were early. We were early in there, but the Falcons made a couple of small moves. They signed Mike Davis. He was the backup in Carolina last year after Christian McCaffrey went down with an injury. A lot of fans had an issue with us taking Mike Davis as if that was supposed to be our solution at running back. Let's be clear, fans. The only guys on our team right now is Ito Smith, Quandre Allison, and Tony Brooks-James, and 2 of the 3 don't even hit the field. So we needed to get a running back for the new regime. We added Markevius Bingo and Brandon Copeland. They're more so to add to Dean Pea's defense. We're going to probably more than likely be a 3-4 defense coming into this year because we really didn't we were okay with getting pressure despite the lack of talent on that defensive front 7. So those were the guys we got there. We signed shout out to the Washington football team. We signed Fabian Moreau to add to our secondary.
I got a secret for you. Well, not really a secret, but he's a health risk. Just putting that out there. He's an injury risk.
Jesus, take the wheel.
But I know Barkevius Mingo was still in the league. He gave me PTSD.
We are taking leftovers from both of your teams. Now that I think about that. But Moreau, I think he's gonna have a shot to actually play in Atlanta because with a new GM, there is no commit. That's one thing that a lot of fans do not understand. When you have a new regime, there is no commitment to the old era. So they're going to bring their guys in to get a chance to shine in Atlanta. So he's one of the first of probably many Washington football team players that's going to get a chance here if they don't work out in Washington.
That's because I got a old VP, Kyle Smith. That's the one.
Yeah, Kyle Smith is here. So he definitely did a great job getting that Washington football team on the right track for sure. I feel like the Falcons made a couple of affordable moves because we really didn't have no money coming into this offseason anyway. So just to do a couple of things was a little bit better. We had to restructure Deion Jones, Jake Matthews, Matt Ryan. We had to restructure a lot of guys just to even have a couple of picks. But Walter Football has us taking Justin Fields. They've been adamant that we're taking Justin Fields. CBS Sports, Ryan Wilson has us taking Penny Sewell out of Oregon. Chris Trapasso has us taking Jalen Waddle, which I would absolutely throw a fit about. We do not need to take a receiver at number 4. Josh Edwards has us trading back to 15. He has us trading back twice, actually. He has us trading back with Denver and trading back with New England to take Elijah Vera out of USC. Pete Prisco has Trey Lance as a foul. Brooks has Zach Wilson as a foul. I think that we may be looking at a quarterback overall. I'm not sure. It's me and Armand talked about this off camera. Falcons are in a really weird situation to where they can go so many different directions. Let me see. Shaq Washington said real quick, trade Julio, get and drop Matt Ryan. Bro, we cannot drop Matt Ryan. We'll be in cap fire for years to come behind that Matt Ryan deal. Julio, I still stand on record by saying this. I can't wait to see what Armand and Devon say about this. I do not think that this. I think this is the last year we see those two together. I think one or both could be gone after the year. I just think that this new era is going to start looking into moving on to this new regime. Let me see. Let it come real quick for it. There. This is to what you said earlier. It said Atlanta want to throw jump balls to Calvin Ridley. Oh my God, we did throw two of them to him this season. That didn't work out well. And Rob Baker also said in the Falcons to go defense. I think it's going to be a defensive draft for us as well. But I done said enough about my boys. I'm gonna let you guys say what you think about what the direction you think they're going to go in at this point.
What, we still talking about number 4 or just in general?
It could be number 4 just in general.
I feel like number 4, like you was talking about before, how y'all wanted to move on from Matt Ryan. I feel like y'all really gonna draft a quarterback just for the future. Y'all need to get another franchise because he's on his last years. I don't think he's gonna be a Tom Brady. He's not gonna play until he's 50. I don't even see him playing as long as Drew Brees, in my opinion. I think he's going to be done. If he's not done this season, he's probably going to be done next season. But I feel like addressing the quarterback position is definitely going to be a need now. Y'all don't really need to address the wide receivers unless y'all want to well, not in the first round at least. Y'all address that later on because there is a lot of speed receivers ranging from the 4.2s, the late 4.2s to the early 4.4s. So there's a lot of depth going there. Tight end, y'all are straight. Y'all got Hayden Hurst. He's still a young player. O-line is not the best, but it's okay, at least for right now. So I really think that y'all really just need to focus on quarterback, running back, and defense. You need some more depth there. I don't really see anybody going in the first round other than the quarterback, but that's just my opinion. I mean, I don't like because the Falcons on paper, y'all are okay. Y'all just had a bad season. Y'all choked a lot. The worst game there's actually 2 bad games y'all had. Y'all need a new special teams coach, in my opinion. That I don't know who taught y'all team how to recover an onside kick, but yeah, that needs to be addressed first and foremost. And learning how to close out games. You know, y'all need safeties. Y'all lost Keanu Neal. Y'all lost Ricardo Allen. Y'all need safeties in this draft. I feel like that's going to be addressed as well. Like you said, you got Fabian Moreau now. So that's A.J. Terrell, Kendall Sheffield, and now Fabian Moreau as the DB position. Y'all's linebackers are okay. Y'all got Olakun. Y'all got Deion Jones, Michael Walker, your defensive line, Grady Jarrett among a few. So it's like, Y'all are okay all around going into this next season. So really just quarterback and running back is what y'all need.
All right, so every time I talk about the Falcons, it makes me a little sad just because the Browns are so stupid. And we talk about Julio Jones, and we traded from like 6 to like 27, gave up everything for Julio Jones when he was on there on the board. But that's another conversation, neither here nor there. So with the Falcons picking at 4, I think, to be honest, it's quarterback or trade down. I think if Fields is there, maybe if Zach Wilson's there, God forbid if y'all take Mac Jones there at number 4. And Trey Lance is an option there as well.
Like everybody forgetting about Trey Lance. That boy is a sophomore. Everybody was high on him, but I see him going late. He'll be like a Lamar Jackson. Like he'll be late.
Yeah, I definitely think the concern is the 1 year of experience, like I was kind of talking about earlier. But I definitely think if Justin Fields is there, I definitely would consider take him there, unless you get a offer that you cannot refuse. And I think, like I said, you got teams like New England, you got teams like Denver, who really, really want a quarterback. And now with the 49ers, leapfrogging a lot of teams. It's going to be hard to get one. But honestly, if I was the Falcons, I would definitely consider trading down. I know you all signed a couple of cornerbacks, but I don't really think outside of A.J. Terrell they're really good. I've watched Kendall Sheffield at Ohio State. I hope he's worked on his turnaround catch point radius because he was terrible at that. I don't know if that's still an issue for him. But I would definitely look at corner, looking at maybe J.C. Horn. If you get traded down to maybe 9 or 10. I will also look at getting the defensive end, possibly a Kwity Paye, defensive end from Michigan, that can be there, just to kind of really round out and build that team. Because I think with the salary cap issues that you guys have, I think you guys really need to consider the future going forward, because it's going to be really hard to get rid of those current contracts that are on your team with Matt, Julio, Jake, Matthews, and a couple other players I think you guys have. I can't think of their names.
Okay. I agree with everything y'all said. Now we're gonna get to the Washington football team. What you got? What have you guys done since the last time we talked on here? And what do you think you guys' direction is gonna be after the moves you made?
All right. Well, since we last talked, there was really only additional free agency move. The biggest free agency move above Fitzpatrick and Jackson would be Curtis Samuel from the Panthers. The running joke is that we're literally turning into the Washington Panthers. You know, we got pretty much their front office now here in Washington. We got Marty Herney as our president now. I mean, I like the direction that we're going. We did add speed. We got help from McLaurin because he can't do it himself. I don't know if we're going to have – in my personal opinion, I thought we were going to bring in Samuel to play the slot because Steven Sims was literal garbage towards the end of the season. He can't catch kick returns, punt returns. He cost us some games with that. Been dropping balls everywhere. Cam Sims, he's not going to be our solid number 2. He's more for depth. Isaiah Wright, same thing with him. He's more for depth. So first round, as the latest reports they've seen us going either for Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle, if he's going to be there at 19. Excuse me. I don't necessarily see Waddle being there at 19. Devontae Smith, I can see still be there at 19. Like our mom was saying before, he has his size issues there, but I don't know personally if that's going to be much of an issue. Saying that we do still have McLaurin, we do have Samuel, so it's not going to be all on him. Like the focus is not really going to be all on Smith if he does come in. He's not going to be our wide receiver 1. More than likely, he's going to be our wide receiver 2. But I do see us either going wide receiver in the first round. If we do go linebacker, we'll if Jeremiah Owusu or Joker, if he's going to be there the first round, we'll get him. I like Micah Parsons, but I don't see him being there at 19. Who else? Zayvon Collins. That's what I was thinking about earlier when I was thinking about Tulsa. Zayvon Collins would be a good addition for us on the edge, outside linebacker. We have Khalid Cousin from Michigan, but he hasn't really gotten a lot of playing time yet. He's more of a special teamer. That'll be a good addition for us for the outside because Ryan Kerry is pretty much out the door now. He was our veteran depth on that line, but he's going to be going now. More than likely, they was talking about sending him to the Giants. I don't know how true that is or how updated that is, but wherever he goes, he'll be a good fit for anybody, even at his age. He's still got some kick left in him. We just have the youth there, so we don't really need him. Running back is addressed. We will need a tight end to back up Logan Thomas because he's up there in age, but that's going to be addressed later in the rounds. Corner, we just got Daryl Roberts as well from the Lions. He's a solid slot corner. He'll probably be there. I mean, not slot corner. He's a solid outside corner. Like Nate was saying, we lost Fabian Moreau. We lost Ronald Darby to the Broncos. So picking up Jackson and Roberts, 2 good additions for us to replace them. Safety, we do need to address the safety concerns. I don't know if we're going to move Cam Carroll to free safety. Troy Apke, he's fast, running 4.3, but he can't cover to save his life. He got feet stuck in the mud, I guess. Landon Collins, he's an injury risk, so we're going to need depth there. I was thinking about trading him. Well, I was thinking that we should have traded him, to get some picks or some draft capital or just another decent player in general. But his contract, the way that it was set up, it'd be too much to trade him. So I feel like in the draft we're gonna go wide receiver, We're gonna go wide receiver, quarterback, defense, mostly outside linebacker or linebacker in general, and safety. Corner probably would be like the later 6th, 7th rounds, if not the 5th round. But I don't really see us getting the corner early on because we do still have Jimmy Moreland there at depth as well. But yeah, we haven't really made any more moves than that. We still got some draft. We still got not draft capital. We still got some free agency money left. They were talking about, if we do want to go to get a free safety in the draft, we would go trade Boston. Another Panthers signing. He's a solid free safety. Still got some kick left in him, but even if we do pick up trade Boston, we would still go in the draft and get a free safety.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you guys see it. We got one guest that was on the stream. He want to hop on for a second and talk to us about the Eagles conversation. So I'm gonna bring him on for a second. He actually just won the Madden turn, my previous Madden turn. So I'm gonna bring him on for a bit before we hop off. Let me add Shaq to the stream real quick. Shaq, what you got to say, man?
Fellas, why y'all do me like that, fellas? Why y'all do me like that, fellas? You hurt my heart, man. You hurt my heart. You know what I'm saying? But nah, let me start off by saying y'all doing a fantastic job, man. I love supporting you guys, man. I look forward to this every week, dog. You know what I'm saying? So y'all are doing a fantastic job. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I love the face, everything. Number one. Number two, why y'all hurt me like that? Damn, like we ain't doing nothing.
Hey,
We
it's
really
not
not
us.
doing
It's our
nothing, bro.
organization, bro. It's our organization. What's
Nah,
your
I feel it,
organization
man. But,
doing, bro?
but with the Eagles, man, you know what I'm saying? Ever since the Super Bowl win, we've been really on a down spiral. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of is up in the air. You know what I'm saying? The one thing I love about Jalen Hurts is, that compared to Carson Wentz, Carson Wentz never really faced any type of adversity. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Hurts did nothing but face that his whole college career. Like imagine, literally, yes, man, thank you. Imagine literally, bring your team back to win a national championship, and the next year you're getting the boot saying you're not the starter. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was benched early in that season. So I feel like being in Philly, man, you know what I'm saying, he has the heart to really be a solid quarterback. Number one. Number two, with the receiver issues, I heard you guys mention, so it's going to be tough, not having no more receivers. You're absolutely right. I think one of y'all mentioned that all our receivers are like 5'10", like 190, you know what I'm saying, in a physical league. And that's my issue with Devontae Smith. Like, how are you going to be a number one receiver and you're like Robbie Anderson size? Like, there's no way. You know what I mean? So I really sat there and listened to you guys, and I started to think like, man, the Eagles may be in trouble, but as a fan, I got to say we're going to be all right. And lastly, man, the Trevor and Justin situation. I really feel like Justin is in a better situation because we know where Trevor's going. He's going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The issue with Jacksonville is you have DJ Chark. However, you got to have time to throw DJ Chark the ball. You know what I'm saying? You're at running back, you have an issue, a little messed up situation. He's a running back. You know what I'm saying? So it's not gonna be a balanced offense for him. I like Justin Fields because I feel like he's gonna get put in a Dak Prescott situation. Dak Prescott was put in a Cowboys situation. He went 4th round. Say Justin goes to the Falcons. He has 2 solid receivers to go to. He has a decent tight end. And he has a solid running back. The defense, they're fast. They just need to get together. I don't know what y'all got going on over there defensively, but y'all get it together, y'all going to be all right. So I think that's why, Justin has a better upside. Now, don't get me wrong. I think one of y'all mentioned Trevor, so he needs to gain some weight, but he has a gun. He's accurate. That man has a cannon. He reminds me of a smaller version of Josh Allen, just a little more accurate. But again, man, I like Justin Fields, and I want to see him in an Atlanta Falcons jersey. I would love to see that, man, because the last time y'all drafted a productive quarterback besides Matt Ryan was, I believe, Michael Vick. You know what I'm saying? And we seen what happened. They know Michael Vick And we seen what Michael
They
Vick
don't do
did.
that.
I mean,
They
being honest, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, I didn't want to stay up here too long, man. I just wanted to joke with you guys about bashing my squad, you know what I'm saying? But I had to make a couple comments about, what I'm saying, the quarterback situation. But this draft is definitely going to be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep doing y'all thing. I'm gonna tune in every show, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna talk my junk and I'm gonna throw some questions at y'all. Y'all gonna be like, what in the world is this guy on? You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm here for, man. But like I said, y'all doing a fantastic job. I appreciate y'all having my little 2 minutes of shine, on the show, baby. You feel me? But man, I'm gonna keep tuning in, man. Again, y'all, I appreciate y'all, man, for real.
Hey, no problem, man. I'm glad you came on for a bit with us, bro.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. But listen, man, y'all take care, man. I'm gonna stay tuned in. And I appreciate y'all, man.
All righty, sir.
All right, man.
All
Y'all be
right.
blessed.
All righty.
It does, bro.
Okay. Is there anything else y'all want to talk about before we hop off? We've been on for an hour and 15. I've enjoyed it. I really have.
Yeah, look, this is my passion, man. I just love talking football, bro. Like, I could do this all day. Like, we can go for it. Like, I know y'all, y'all not gonna have time for it, but you know what? We can go all day talk about this. It's so much. It's just so much. This is so much unknown and so much going on, especially with players coming back, from opting out from COVID from last season. It's just so much in the air. There is one thing I want to ask before we do get off. Do y'all think with all these new additions that the Patriots will be a top 5 defense in this upcoming season? I said no. I said maybe top 10, but not top 5. But there was like, with all these new additions and Bill Belichick, bouncing back next season, I don't know.
Oh, Mom just said, great show, y'all.
Yeah, that's my mom. Thank you. Love you.
Thank you. I'm gonna say no. I think although that you got the Bills in that division who can score, they got to get a running back. The Bills definitely got to get a running back.
You got Matt Breida.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, they got.
He's okay. He doesn't move the needle for me. Maybe
they got like the 1-2 punch with Singletary though.
Zach Moss. They're still Josh Allen, a best running back. That's a problem.
Oh yeah,
that's a problem. If their quarterback is the best running back, so if they can get maybe like a Najee Harris or one of those North Carolina running backs, we talking a little bit. But you got the Dolphins who about to get wide receivers, who about to upgrade. The Jets, they kind of far away, but you just don't know. I just don't think they got the fronts. They got the D line to really be a top 5 defense. Now they do got some good players coming back, so we'll see.
I would say no as well. I don't see it. I think they are trending in the right direction. I just don't see it.
And last question. Well, it's actually 2 questions. One, the team, what team is going from worst to best next season?
Good question. Like you mean like worse, like did that finish last in their division, like worse, or like they picked like top 10?
Like bottom of the league, didn't make the playoffs to making the playoffs and maybe even Super Bowl.
I'm not gonna go Super Bowl, but I'm putting on record that the Falcons will make the playoffs that season. I'm gonna just put it out there. That's a bold prediction. I'm gonna go to Armand.
Worse.
I know we can't really. This is like an early prediction, like pre-draft prediction. I know stuff. It will change after the draft, of course.
It might be kind of I might have to think about that one. Let me. You know what? They weren't worse, but they were an interesting team, and they have a new head coach. I think that the Los Angeles Chargers will make the playoffs next year.
Ooh.
And I like and they have one of the players. If the Browns, God forbid, they could get him like on the cheap, but I know they ain't gonna give him up. Derwin James is gonna come back on a vengeance.
Even without Hunter Henry, at tight end, he still gonna make it.
I think that they will be okay. And who knows? You never know. They might make a trade. They might. I mean, Hunter Henry was cool. He was cool, but I mean, he was injured a lot. I mean, they still got Keenan Allen. I think Mike Williams came back. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they still got Mike Williams.
They got to get that line together, but I really like. Justin Herbert shut people up last year. He shut people up.
He got
a big. I think that division, like you got the Chiefs, but the Raiders are kind of they cut a lot of cap last year, this offseason. So they're in a period of transition, and then you got the Broncos. They don't got a quarterback, but they could surprise. If they get a quarterback, that might change. That might be the one that I might say. Somebody, the Broncos or the Chargers, somebody, one of them two teams, they get some situations. They gonna be the surprise.
In the division, I would more likely go towards the Broncos just because Drew Lock, even though I wouldn't say they don't have a quarterback. I just feel like Drew Lock needs to be more consistent. If he's more consistent, then they'll be better. The defense is already, as us up there. You know what I'm saying? Even if they address their needs in the draft, I feel like they can still be a force to reckon with. Look, they still got Von Miller. They still got Bouye. They still got Callahan. They got Justin Simmons, who just signed that massive contract. So I feel like they can still make some type of noise. They do need a better, strong safety, more linebackers, or more depth in linebacker, I should say. But I feel like they'll be all right. But other than the Broncos making that change and the AFC, NFC, I'm not even gonna say my team because you can't the NFC East, you just can't, you don't know with them. But NFC, I would have to say I'm gonna say the Vikings. The Vikings gonna make that leap next season. I feel like Kirk Cousins will get right. Justin Jefferson going in. You said no? You said no? I feel like they'll be that sleeper team sneaking into the wild card. I mean, look, I guarantee. Look, I know it sounds, a little like, but I feel like they'll be that sleeper team that's going to just slip their way into the playoffs.
I think the Vikings might be a team that might be picking in the top 10 next year. I think that they're in trouble. I think that their coach, I think that voice is kind of gotten a little old. I think they could use a new fresh face there. I think Kirk is solid. I mean, they got pieces on offense, but they got the situation with Daniil Hunter. It just, I don't know, in that division with Green Bay, Chicago, like God forbid if they get a quarterback. The Lions are trash, but it just, the Vikings, I don't know. I just don't know. They lost Kyle Rudolph. They got some offensive line issues there. The D line was terrible last year. I can see that team dropping on a cliff next year if things go bad. They already had the situation when Ngakoue that didn't go well. They got some talent. They did draft some cornerbacks last year that were pretty good. They lost Anthony Harris to Shaq's Eagles. So that's another one. Harrison Smith is a little older. So I don't know. I don't know with the Vikings right now.
That was my if like some magical what's the word, magical whatever sprinkle just dropped on them and like boom, they exploded. But other than the Vikings, I would honestly have to say, even if I already called them a retirement team, I feel like the Cardinals could make some noise in that division. You know what I'm saying? They did get some older pieces, but they still got some juice left in them. And their defense, they was already all right. They started off 6-0 with Kyler Murray in that team already, and then they had a little fallout towards the end of the season with Kyler getting hurt. But I feel like that whole team can stay healthy going forward the whole year. They'll be okay. They'll be decent. You know what I'm saying? They got Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt. If J.J. Watt can stay healthy, that line is going to be terrible. It's going to be not terrible as bad, but it's going to be all right.
Yeah, they got Isaiah Simmons going into his second year as well. So they definitely got a lot of talent on that team as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But that will wrap up all in with Nate. These guys are gonna come back. I'm so glad I had Armand on here. Armand is definitely coming back on here with us. He's definitely come back on here with us. It's draft time. Schedule's coming up. We gotta definitely get my boy back on here more often. We do this all the time. Same with the Devon. We do this all the time. But as you all got a chance to see Shaq pop up on the show, if you are ever interested in joining us to talk sports with us, let us know. We will welcome you on here with open arms. Come on here and keep it clean, but we're gonna welcome you with open arms. But until next time, this is Nate. I'm letting you say their name and we're gonna sign off.
All right. Well, this is Devon. Thanks for all the support. Family, if you're watching, I love y'all. Thank you for the support and everything going on. Peace.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All right.
Yeah,